And we got some breaking news here in the world of corporate fraud. In fact, it may turn out to be one of the biggest cases of corporate fraud ever uncovered. We're going to find out that dozens of congressmen actually own this stock, and it appears that the billionaire CEO behind it all, he's actually in the middle of a pump and dump scheme. Now, today, we're going to get into all of it and what it means for us in the future with insiding trader expert Ross Givens. Ross and I are actually going to be doing a free training on how patriots can get the same inside knowledge these corrupt bureaucrats have access to so we can piggyback on their trades. Click on the link below. Join us on Thursday, September 28th, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'll be there, and you're going to absolutely love it. So, Ross, welcome. It's an honor to have you, as always.
Thank you.
Let's get into it, man. Tell us what's going on.
Well, like you said it pretty well. I mean, I think it's possible we are witnessing the biggest case of corporate fraud in history. And if what I'm seeing is true, this could make Enron, this could make Enron look like a failed lemonade stand. It involves one of the biggest, most important companies in the world. It is the number one stock in the market right now. And the corruption we're seeing goes all the way to the very top, because right now, the CEO is dumping stock. He's selling it hand over fist, tens of millions of dollars worth, and cashing out on what could be the biggest pump and dump in history. So I'm going to try not to get too technical here, but what's happening right now, I believe, presents a huge opportunity. And I want to show your viewers how using this simple public information, like what I'm going to show you today, can make you piles of money. And as you mentioned, we also have a free training session coming up on Thursday at 3 Eastern, where I'll show people step by step how to do this regularly, because things like this are happening all the time. And people have become very, very wealthy, as you know, just by following these free inside tips.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful how you're turning this opportunity, this current event, into a masterclass in terms of how we can do this. Like I said at the beginning, gang, if you've never come to one of these trainings that Ross does, it's absolutely mind-blowing. We've had tens of thousands of our followers attend them, and they've absolutely loved them. I get texts from your team that come in every day, giving me updates on what Congress and the corporate executives are up to. It really gives me tons of information that points to breaking news before it even happens, before it goes mainstream. All right, so what exactly is this company? Tell me more.
Okay, so the company is Nvidia. The ticker symbol is NVDA. Right now, this company is worth just over $1 trillion. Wow. And unless you've been living under a rock for the last year, you've no doubt heard the word AI tossed around a good bit. It is the hottest trend on Wall Street, and pretty much all the best performing stocks this year are AI-related companies. It's Palantir, it's Supermicro, and C3, and of course, Nvidia, because Nvidia makes those chips used in all these AI applications. Okay. Now, Nvidia's stock has been on a tear. It's up 250% since January. Wow. And that's because every quarter, when the company releases its earnings report, their sales, their profits have been up big, way more than Wall Street expected. And that's really the name of the game, is beating these analyst expectations each quarter.
I've looked into this a bit, but for those who don't live and breathe this stuff the way you do, break that down for us. Explain this to me as if I don't look at stocks every day like you do.
Okay, so but it works like this. Wall Street says, hey, we think Nvidia earned a profit of $10 billion last quarter. That's the consensus among all these professional analysts that sit around and crunch numbers all day. So $10 billion, that's the expectation. If Nvidia comes out and says they only earned $5 billion, the stock's going down. Wall Street expected 10, they only made 5, so the company's not worth as much as they thought.
Right.
Now, on the other hand, if everyone expected 10 billion and Nvidia says we made 20, the stock skyrockets.
Okay.
Suddenly it's worth much more than originally thought. Okay, is it making sense?
Yep, got it. I'm following along.
Right. Okay, so that in a nutshell is earnings report. And at the core, that's really all this is. Once a quarter, every publicly traded company holds a big press conference, tells people how much money they made over the last 3 months. Well, these announcements are hugely important. A bad number can cost shareholders hundreds of billions of dollars because the stock tanks.
Right.
And since these CEOs, as you know, work for the shareholders, bad numbers mean he or she may be out of a job, all right? So NVIDIA reported their numbers a few weeks ago, and look, they were tremendous. huge sales, huge profits. They raise guidance next quarter. Everyone is happy.
Yeah.
Sounds great,
Yeah,
right?
sounds great. Absolutely.
Sure. Here's the
But, right?
thing. There's always a but. There is a rumor circulating right now that these numbers are not entirely accurate.
Mm.
Most of that growth was a single, get this, $2 billion order from one suspicious company called CoreWeave. Now, I've never heard of CoreWeave. Your viewers have probably never heard of CoreWeave. That's because it didn't even exist 2 years ago.
Hmm.
No one can even tell who its customers are. They know nothing about it. Now it's buying $2 billion of computer chips at a time. But when you go down this rabbit hole, and I know this is nerdy stuff, but it's important because everyone out there likely owns Nvidia in some capacity. Your
Mhm.
mutual funds, your
Right.
401ks, one of the largest held stocks. And so you need to understand this. First of all, this CoreWeave company, the one supposedly buying $2 billion, is run by hedge fund guys, not tech guys, not Silicon Valley entrepreneurs, hedge fund guys. Okay, super suspicious. They didn't even have the $2 billion to buy the chips. They took out a loan, and their collateral for that loan was the chips they're buying. Okay, imagine going to a bank, say, I need a $2 billion loan. I'm going to buy computer chips. What's your collateral? The chips I'm buying.
The chips.
Okay, how much you putting down? Nothing. No one's going to approve that loan.
Right.
They did. Here's the craziest part. In April, a few months ago, this CoreWeave company was raising money in this Series B funding round. $220 million. One of the main investors? Nvidia. So Nvidia itself has funded and owns a large part of this mysterious company run by hedge fund guys. It's come out of nowhere. And then 3 months later, what do you know? They placed a $2 billion order with Nvidia, with money they don't even have.
Wow. So if this is accurate, I mean, you're talking about something far bigger than Enron in terms of
Oh, yeah.
fraud.
Yeah, I mean, Nvidia is 15 times bigger than Enron, to give you an idea of what we're
Wow.
talking about here. I mean, it would be completely unprecedented. And look, you know me, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. I tried to write this off as
Right.
just some other Looney Tune running around on Twitter. But then, you know what I do? I track the
Yeah.
insiders,
Yeah.
and here's where it got suspicious. Nvidia's CEO, a few weeks ago, he gets awarded 89,000 shares of Nvidia stock at a cost of $4 a piece. So it's an option exercise, gets all this stock. It's worth $42 million. Guess what he does with it? Immediately sold it.
Mm.
Every single share. So he's cashing out right after his company announced great news
Right.
that should send the stock higher.
Right.
And on top of that, during this month's earnings announcement, when they released all this information, this same CEO announced the company would be buying back $25 billion of Nvidia stock. Now, these buybacks, something Buffett loves, it's done when the executives at a company think the stock is worth much more
Mhm.
in its current price. That's why Wall Street loves them. It's one of the tricks they use to get the price to go higher. So, I mean, with the company's money, he's buying the stock. It's great. It's a great deal. Well, when it's his money, he's selling it. You see what I mean?
Yeah. So if people are taking stocks at face value,
Mhm.
right, they might want to rethink that. I mean, this is exactly why I love having you on. Everything these days cannot be taken at face value. This is
Mm-mm.
such an important lesson, especially today. And this is why I'm so glad you hold these free training events. They're like master classes. Again, the next one, gang, is Thursday, September 28th. It's 3 p.m. Eastern, correct? I just want to
3
make
p.m. Eastern. Yeah.
3 p.m. Eastern. And by the way, there's a link, gang, in the description below to register for it. It's completely free. Definitely worth your time. I encourage you to do that. I mean, you get into the inner workings of how these guys at the highest levels of power are actually networking with each other. It's so fascinating. That's what makes Ross so neat. No one else is sharing this stuff. And what's so crazy to me about this is that most people, including myself, would see this news. Sales are up, profits are up, the company's buying its stock, and then I'm going to want to buy the stock too.
Totally.
But then you've got this like behind the scenes stuff going on that only generally Pelosi and the corrupt freaks in
Mhm.
DC know about, where and this is obviously ignored by the mainstream narrative. You're seeing what they're actually doing with their own money. And then and then you're tracking it, right? I mean, this is the way we can make decisions with our
Totally.
money.
Yeah. And all this, that's how I know. It's all public record. People just don't realize that or know to look for it. But I like to explain it like this. Think about it this way. All right. If your job offered you a company car and they said, get whatever you want, what are you going to buy? Probably, I mean, if you're me, I'd get the nicest, most expensive car I could get away with, right? I'd be in a $150,000 Range Rover that loses half its value. And what do I care? It's not my money.
Right, right, right,
You can justify it, right? You
right,
tell your boss, look, I need to project an image of success. My
right,
customers need to be comfortable. It's a tax write-off, et
right,
cetera, et cetera.
right,
But if you had to pay for the car yourself,
right,
I bet you'd buy something else, right?
right.
Same thing here. This guy who is the face of a $1 trillion company, he has no problem buying the stock with the company's money. He has no problem telling investors why it's
Yeah.
such a good investment. But when you follow him, when it's his money, it's a very different story. And I think that's extremely telling.
So, and it makes perfect sense because what you do is just the opposite of this, right? You look for situations where these corporate insiders are buying stock with their own money.
Exactly.
Because as you've explained before, this often means they know something that we don't yet. It's not, as it were, public knowledge. They're telegraphing, as we would say in boxing, right?
Yeah.
How they're going to hit. And you brought some charts and explain some of these charts for us, if you would.
Yeah, so I appreciate that. This first one you should see, this is just a chart of Nvidia stock. So it's from 2021 up through today. And you can see it's had some big moves in both directions. But I've plotted on here the last two times the CEO sold. So
Mm.
the last time, right there at the end of 21, right there at the top, stocks fall 65% over the next 10 months.
Looks
All
like
right.
a ski slope. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And now he's selling again. So am I guaranteeing it's going to happen? No. But I mean, if nothing else,
Right.
there's a precedent set
Right.
that this guy has a history of selling at the top. He's selling now. So, it is what it is. Now,
Right.
I want to compare that, like you said, I try to find the opposite. So
Right.
if you could bring up the other chart, this is a different stock. It's a smaller stock. The company is ZIMV, ticker ZIMV. This is one I actually recommended to our members. Now, a few months ago, they reported very bad earnings. So Nvidia was good. The stock should go up. Numbers were very bad. And you see what happens with the stock after that little news piece there in March. I mean, sales are down, profits down, not a good number. Stocks falls 50% the next day. But look what the company insiders did. Buy, 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 buy. I mean, we had the president, the vice president, the chief financial officer, all buying the stock within days of each other. So again, just like you said earlier, if you focused on that earnings report and listened to what they said to investors,
Yep.
you would have never bought the stock.
Yeah.
We do the opposite.
Right.
We follow the money. So we alerted members to buy this stock. And as you can see, it doubled over the next few months. So once again, just a simple case of just follow the money.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I mean, again, and it's not like it's a rare case. I mean, you find these all the time, right? You find that kind of discrepancy of what's going on the outside versus what's going on behind the scenes. I don't want to spoil it for our viewers, but you've identified 3 new stocks that insiders are buying right now. And you're going to tell people about these on Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you make sure you click on that link below to register for our live training event, is that correct?
That's right. Yeah. And in fact, we're going to do one more because you're such a good friend of ours. We are actually sending out our newest trade alert for free to everyone who registers for this event. So all you got to do, I'm sure y'all put the link in the description, click that, put in your cell, your email. You're going to get our full report on that stock, including the name, ticker symbol, which insiders are buying, how to place the trade, full analysis, everything. And we'll be discussing the others on Thursday's event. And again, it's completely free. It's online. The only thing is, as you know, we only have 1,000 spots. The software we use, I don't know why. It's a bandwidth issue. It caps out at 1,000 attendees. Anytime I come on your show, we fill the thing up.
You fill it up very fast.
Yeah. So if you want to attend, I just encourage you to go ahead, register now to secure your seat. I promise it'll be worth your time for sure.
Yeah, it will, gang. And I'm a member of Ross's group, and I just love them. Like I said, I get his text messages almost every day. You heard the man. Click on that link in the description below. Secure your spot today. Do not wait. There's only 1,000 spots available because of the software. So you want to register now. September 28th, 3 p.m. Eastern. The DC Elite are scrambling and getting clumsy, which means we can use their mistakes and info to cash in for ourselves and for our loved ones and for the Patriot cause. So don't wait. Ross, dude, this was a masterclass in investing, investing like the insiders do. This was amazing. We'll have to have
Well,
you
thank
back
you.
very
I
soon. I
appreciate
can't
you
wait.
having me on.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I can't wait for the free training on the 28th.
Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.